All right, the formula we're going to use is A equals P plus 1 over R, all raised to the nt. Now, what's a little bit confusing about this is they don't tell us how much money we start with. They just tell us that our investment is going to double. So the interesting thing is it doesn't really matter how much money we start with. So just for fun, let's say P is going to be $100. We're going to start with $100. Then A would be twice as much. So if we start with $100, we want to know when we're going to have $200. And we'll see why in just a minute that P number doesn't really matter. And then we're going to have 1 plus, it said our interest rate was 3%. So that's 0.03. Compounded quarterly, that's a 4. Raised to the 4t. Now, what I would do on this equation is I would divide both sides by 100. Now, remember, 100 was the amount of money we started with at the beginning. And so here's why I say the 100 didn't matter. If we'd have started with 1,000 here, we'd have had 2,000 over here, and we would have divided by 1,000, and we still would have had 2. So that's what's a little bit tricky about these, is the starting amount doesn't matter. All right, now, to solve this equation, the only technique we have for solving is to use our calculator. So we're going to go, turn our calculator on, go to y equals. We're going to type in the left-hand side, that's 2. We're going to type in the right-hand side, 1 plus 0.03 over 4 raised to the, now if you have an older calculator and it doesn't give you the little exponent thing here, then you're going to have to put this in parentheses. So I'm going to put it in parentheses. Anyway, I don't need to because I have a newer calculator here. But if you have one of the older ones, you'll need parentheses there. All right, and then we're going to graph. And what we're looking for is where these two things cross. And you can see what's going to happen. This one, the curve, the second one, is getting closer, but it hasn't crossed yet. We're only going up to 10 years so far, so we need to go more years. So we're going to go window. I'm going to make it go up to maybe 30 years. And then have it graph again. So there's the 2. And here comes the other one. And they do eventually cross. We can see it went from under to over. So to find where it crosses, we're going to go into our calculate menu. We're going to find where they cross. That's the intersect. Is that the first curve? Well, that's the 2. Yep, that's the first curve, you can see. Enter. There's our second equation that we typed in. Enter, a guess, enter. And it thinks and it tells us it's about 23.2 years. So that would be our answer for the first one. Now, the second part of the problem, we're going to use a slightly different formula for compounded continuously. Oops. This is your formula. A equals P e to the RT. Again, our starting amount isn't going to matter. If we call it 100, then this would be 200, and we would divide, and we would have 2 equals E raised to the R is 0.03t. And then you're going to grab your calculator and you're going to solve just like I did the other one. The answer is going to be almost exactly the same. The answer should be just a tiny little bit smaller, but not much. Okay, I hope those helped. As always, let me know if you have more questions.